What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. You know, so many of you reached out to me about this article. Thank you to Mr. Grant for sending me these snips over on Twitter. I did not originally want to talk about this. Part of me wanted to get John David Washington on my phone and do an interview. Now, if you don't know, he is the son of Denzel Washington. He also was a football player himself. And you would think with social media, it would be easy to get a hold of people. But it's not. This guy is literally uncontactable, apparently. Unless you're a pro IMDb user, which, even if I was, do I really want to call this guy's agent and talk about doing a video game interview? So, I'll leave this video at also a request to speak to him. But this quote really resonated with me. I'm going to read it to you. But I really wish the NFL, and please put this on record, will let 2K make a football game again, because ESPN NFL 2K5 was one of the best football games of all time. If I could have any influence in this culture at all, activism is great, but really, if I can get the NFL to let 2K make a video game, I can die on this earth knowing that I gave back to humanity. And that's a deep statement. I've heard a lot of people talk about people that have died during this process of only having one football game and an impact it had on them. And I know to some people this quote or that thought process, that logic doesn't make a lot of sense. But I feel like a lot of people also don't understand how much video games and video game culture and football teams and how people connect to their team impact one's life. And for so many people that feel like that connection between their team, themselves, and a video game have been fractured by the inability for us to have competition in the marketplace for football games. And I was really astonished to see someone in any form of power, in any form of influence, make such a bold statement like this. Because again, there's so many people that would not understand someone basically saying, make sure you get this right. If I could have an impact on the world, I want it to be through a video game, and I'll die at peace. Because that's essentially what's being said here. I mean, that is really a profound statement to make. And listen, we're in a day and age where you say the wrong thing, whether it's 10 years ago or 5 years ago or 5 weeks ago, people will separate themselves from you. And I would imagine there was some risk here that a company could come out and say, well, if that's what this person wants, a video game, if that's one of their life goals, do we want to be dealing with this person? Do you think EA is ever going to use him in a game now? Maybe not. But it does open up the conversation of how many people have really sat silent, whether it's in the field of football, whether it's in the field of video games, and felt this way, and wanted this, and wanted to talk about this. I mean, it's been a significant amount of time. 10 years, really, All-Pro Football 2K8, as we've mentioned, before we even had an option. And the funny thing is, we're just now starting to get back to competitive games in the marketplace. Even if it's just 2 independent games, 3 independent games competing with each other, those games will get dramatically better by their direct competition. Even though they may not be competing directly with Madden, they can build themselves up continually and give us better products. And I think that's what so many of us miss. The ability for 2K and Madden, regardless of which one you thought was quote-unquote better, or which one you liked more, it was the competition between the two that made them both better, that really seemed to make those games, NFL 2K5 and really Madden 2005, two of the most beloved games in the community. When people ask me, and I get asked all the time, what is your favorite Madden? 05 and 25. Without a doubt. Those to me are the two benchmark Madden games where when you go back and compare Madden today to those two, you're not fully there. 2K is a completely different scenario because in many ways, Madden misses the mark with 2K, but in reality, in some ways, graphics being a large bit of it, Madden is better. So, I've talked about this now. You guys can go back to your regular day and not email me and ask me what I feel about this. I'm proud that somebody stands up like this. And it makes me happy to know that people are willing to talk about a game like this. because I'm sure it's not something that's super easy to do because of how many people misunderstand the culture of video games or the importance of video games. And I would really like the opportunity to do an interview with John and get a little bit more of his feelings about how much this game meant to him and where we are now and what he's willing to do to try to make things back to where they used to be. Love to know your guys' thoughts on this. Appreciate you checking out. You know that I will be back in the week with more commentary.